You feel this very, very profound stillness that doesn't shift or change. And the nice part of that for my life is the peacefulness that it brings to me and how I feel. And I distinctly notice when I leave, even if I leave and I stay in a very, very beautiful place, I love the beauty and, I appreciate whatever refinement is in that place, but I notice that I can feel the lack of that deep, deep, profound silence and peacefulness. And always when I walk back in the door of this house, I go like, I can feel it all there. So I'd say that is the thing that I notice most consistently and feel like it influences and impacts my life on a regular basis.
That reminds me, we were just at a wedding in Aspen, Colorado, staying at a beautiful resort. And we loved where we stayed. It was like a Grand Hyatt. And it was a very fun wedding, and Aspen was incredibly beautiful. But I noticed when we got home that even while we stayed in a beautiful resort, the feeling in this house, kind of the quality of silence in this house, was such a contrast to where we were. The depth of silence and just the feeling in the house. This house, when you leave it and then come back, you realize that it's almost like a being that has a presence of its own, a life of its own. And the longer we've lived here, 8 years now? 7 or 8 years. I think going on 8 years.
Going on 8 years.
Going on 8 years. And the longer we live here, the more silence I feel and the more profound the experience is of being in the house. This is the second home we built, and we left a very beautiful home we sold on the other side of town that was not Stepacevade. And people asked us, well, why did you leave that house? And we really wanted to build something that was purely Stepacevade. And I can say that I noticed a huge difference. It's not just that we built a new home. It's beautiful. It's the principles of Stepacevade that give it another dimension of silence and
coherence.
Coherence and profundity to the experience of living here. So, and I think I notice it even in our children. Even now our youngest daughter just left for college, and she lived here the 8 years that we were in this house, and we also had a son that lived here for a while. And they love coming home here. They sleep way differently here than they do anywhere else. And I think it had our daughter Dia had a very profound impact, especially during her formative years, on her experience of life. So I think the experience of living in Stepacevade is far-reaching. It goes to influence your life in many, many different levels.
And I think it's subtle. It reminds me a lot of TM, like, what can you say actually happens? It's nothing, it's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's not dramatic, huge change. It's just very quietly and continually, there's this sort of nourishment and stillness that really serves to rejuvenate you. I mean, a lot of times I feel like I come to my house just to R&R. I feel like just coming back home and being here kind of nourishes my nervous system in a way that is kind of not very tangible, but I can feel it. And even 24 hours later, I feel different after I've spent some time in the house. So, these are subtle things that you think, am I making this stuff up? Am I, can I really say it's to do with the house? But I think we've lived here long enough now, and we travel quite a bit, and we've left and come back, and left and come back, and we've had different gatherings. And I think we can pretty solidly say that it's something that is connected with the actual structure of this house, the actual geometry of it, and the coherence in the layout of the rooms, and because otherwise it would come and go, and it doesn't. We come and go, but it seems to just stay the same. So on that level, it was a wise choice, and it's a nice way to add into sort of the last years of our life, the last section of our life, to be living in a structure that perpetuates inner peace, I think is pretty nice.